What's good, YouTube? This video is going to be about the 5 ways that I believe women often make themselves look a little bit desperate. So I'm going to jump right into this. If you don't want to look thirsty or desperate or set yourself up as a target to be used, you may want to avoid a few of these habits. The first thing that women often do that make them look desperate in new relationships is love bombing, or being overly affectionate, or being too mushy. Men know whether or not they deserve your affection, if they've earned it. If you're constantly melting all over a guy, you may look more like a new lapdog than a new spouse to him. I guess the key to this behavior is make sure that your affections are returned. I personally have been caught off guard by lovey-dovey behavior and terms of endearment that I wasn't really ready to hear before, and it always makes things a bit awkward. It's always painful to watch a woman swoon all over a man who doesn't match or even seems bothered by her romantic enthusiasm. Pouring it on too thick is only acceptable when both parties are completely into it. New relationships are complicated enough in that there are two parties trying to figure out and discover how they need to share their affections with one another. Don't create a need for them to make space by swarming them with your affections until you learn how they best receive love. It can really feel like you're begging for closeness if this is overdone. The second thing that women do that make them look a bit desperate is calling and texting too much. I used to have this girl that I was talking to and trying to get to know. At first she was cool. I had approached her and I was calling her. About a week into it, she started calling me about 4 times a day. By 2 weeks, it was 8 times. No matter how much I talked to her, it was never enough. No matter how long we were on the phone, she'd always call right back. And if I didn't answer the phone, I get an angry text message. And we wasn't even officially together. Needless to say, it didn't work out. I had to break things off, and I felt so bad about disappointing her, but her obsession with me really just zapped all of my interest in her. I just felt really smothered, and I know it hurt her, but there's no neat way to break glass. I never used her body or took anything from her, so she eventually got over it. My point here is, add a man to your life, but don't make him your life. Very few people want that level of responsibility. Unless he's a narcissist or he just plans on using you, a man wants to join you in your life. He doesn't want to become your life. One of the easiest ways to impress a man is to have some shit to do and give him time to miss you. You start feeling like property when someone won't back the hell up off of you. Moving on, the third thing that women often do that make them look really desperate is sexual favors for a guy that hasn't committed to them. Look, I'm just gonna be blunt about this. Topping a guy off that's not your man because you want him to like you not only looks desperate, but is desperate. Hell, it might as well be begging. Again, guys know when they should be entitled to such a favor. So topping guys off, especially in cars, to get them to like you back is like the most desperate thing a woman can do. Premature fellatio comes off super thirsty, and I'm gonna be honest. If a man hasn't told you he loves you or shown you his intent to be with you, then you shouldn't be putting anything of his into your oral cavity. Hell, some of y'all are topping guys off here and there, to and fro, and still ain't found the man. And just in case you don't already know this, men never believe a woman when she says, "I don't usually do this," because they usually do. And even if they don't, that's the perception. So if you really want a man to think that you don't usually do a thing, don't do it with him, and he'll assume that of most or all of your relationships. Fellatio is looked at as a selfless service, so don't service anyone who hasn't offered you their heart. But maybe that's just a guy's opinion. But that's why y'all come here, right? Moving on, the fourth thing that women often do that make them look desperate to guys is excessive favors. Women often attempt to gain a guy's trust by tricking off their money and resources in an attempt to show them that they're a down-ass chick who can hold their man down. Always buying things and doing favors. The problem with this is it sets you up to get used by people who haven't earned your trust or effort. Very generous women often get taken advantage of after they show their willingness to go the extra mile by men who only wanted to see what he could get out of them anyway. While other guys might see all your efforts to overachieve and box you into that same little category that women put nice guys in. And while many men may like it, these habits are often identified as trying to buy love. and everyone knows that that comes from desperation. So it's best to err on the side of caution and save your excessive favors and gifts for men who have earned your love and reciprocated it. With that said, last but not least, the fifth thing that women often do that make them look desperate is thirst trapping. Things like racy IG pictures, backwards selfies, seductive clothing, twerking in public, and etc. Anything that will be considered excessive sexuality or advertising of sex value. Women who constantly bring their sexuality to center stage when they get around men always look desperate. I'm not saying they always are, but that's how it looks. Attention seeking in this way can make men weary of you because they don't know if access to your body is limited or open to the public. If you want to be taken seriously, it should always appear that your sexuality is exclusive and access to your body is limited. When you're thirst trapping men on the gram, you're the one who actually looks thirsty. The quote-unquote bad bitches often have bad relationships because they market themselves to bad men who only want them for their sex value. And it's hard to blame these men, as these women, often desperate for love, only advertise their sexuality. I don't know, maybe they should try to start putting some books behind their ass or something to show that they have more than that to offer. I find it so funny how all these Instagram models be talking about how these thirsty men be in their inbox saying this and that. And I just be thinking, but your ass is out. That took some effort. If you've taken 56 pictures backwards in the mirror on your tippy toes, trying to find the perfect angle and lighting on your ass, you don't get to call anyone thirsty because you've done a great deal for the likes you've gotten. Now don't misunderstand me. I'm not here to degrade bathroom models or Instagram models or women who go above and beyond for the guy they like or is trying to impress. I'm only pointing out the fact that when the efforts you make as women to attract or keep a man interested far exceed the effort that he gives you, it always looks desperate. Women often forget that they are the prize in the relationship, that they are the most sought after treasure on this planet. The feminine energy makes this world spin. Guys spend their whole lives trying to make money, to acquire things just to attract the treasure of a woman. Her nurturing, her love, her goddess energy. These things cannot be taken from a woman, but she can discard them, and many women often do. You have been duped if you think that your real power as a woman lies in your ass, your tits, or your sex. I guess I'm off topic now, but my point is that a woman is too valuable to this world to ever operate from a place of desperation, especially when trying to attract a man. We all have felt desperate at times, but it's very dangerous to let it manifest itself in the way that you handle potential partners. It telegraphs our deepest insecurities and it sets us up to fail. Women often underestimate their own value and overestimate the intent and the integrity of their potential partners. Be a great woman to a great man, but be a no one to a nobody. I think I've said enough. That's all I got for now. Please check out my t-shirt store under this video or donate to my PayPal for a speedy email response. You can also join me on Patreon. Patreons who pledge $10 or more a month have my phone number, so they just text me directly when they have issues. So if that level of access is something you're interested in, then you may want to become a patron. Write talkwithkevhick@gmail.com to schedule phone consultations. Write the other email for free email advice. Thanks for watching. I'll get with y'all later.